Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about transit sun, sextile, or trine one's natal Chiron. Now, this transit may manifest in creativity, life, action, drive, motivation, focus, and attention. This could be in harmony with physical and emotional ones, and you wonder, well, how can that be in harmony with that? Well, what I'm saying is, like for instance, you have more of an opportunity at this time to focus, say, on a physical related matter. If you are currently dealing with one, say if the natal Chiron is in Scorpio, it might be some issue with the prostate or the colon or the bladder or even the reproductive system if the natal Chiron is in Gemini. As another example, there may be some physical related suffering you may be going through with the arms, the hands, the nerves, shoulders, something with lungs or breathing. And these issues you may have a better chance now to focus on them and give it more attention without with little or no distractions or diversions at this time. If there's any emotional suffering you may be enduring with, the same would apply if your natal Chiron is in Aries and you've been, say you have the natal Chiron in Aries in the 7th house, and there's some kind of contentious or acrimonious relationship you're involved in. There's all kinds, and you're dealing with maybe a literally physically abusive situation. It's more an opportunity to actually focus on that and maybe do something about it, such as extricating yourself from that situation. Now, there can also be, remember that Chiron, it's not all bad, because Chiron actually, as many of you may know, is the wounded healer. It reflects ways we could help and heal others that we're unable to help ourselves. And the thing is, if the natal, say if someone's natal Chiron is in Taurus, it could indicate that we could help others, perhaps with issues with persistence, perseverance, patience, and self-worth, and may have difficulty in helping ourselves or expressing those qualities in ways that could be beneficial to us. And that could be an area of suffering for us as a result if we have, say, the natal Chiron in Taurus in the 12th house as an example. It could be a situation where somebody, could be issues with lack of perseverance or persistence or patience, could be the one self-undoing and tied into secret sorrows as an example. Now, the thing about this is it gives us more, again, we can have more energy and vitality at this time, more so than usual, to be able to help and heal others in terms of what is suffering they may be going through, whether it's on emotional and or physical matter at this point in time. Now, Chiron is also associated with ineptitude and weakness, whether it may actually be a weakness in ourselves, or ineptitude, whether it could exist. In many cases it may actually be an area where one is inept in, or it could simply be where one feels that where maybe they don't have enough of something and they just feel like some lack of security because of that. Say, for example, the natal Chiron is in the zodiac sign of Cancer and or the 4th house in the natal chart. There could be some issues connected with the home or the family, and there's in some situation where you might feel some sense of lack, or there's something where you just don't feel like you have enough of that unconditional love in your life, perhaps in general. And it can be a time where you're when you have this transit. The transit only lasts about 5 days, but it can be an opportunity where you could take action in connection with an area where you feel there's some kind of ineptitude or weakness in your life. I have my natal Chiron is in Aries in the 12th house, and it could be just simply about lack of aggression or initiative and enterprise is really tied in with my secret sorrows and self-undoing, and it's really where that could be where my deepest pain actually lies, or inability to confront people that were actually hidden adversaries that may have been impersonating themselves as friends. And as an example, and if I have this transit, it can give me more of an opportunity to actually do something about that at that point in time, even though again the transit only lasts about 5 days. Now the thing is, another thing too is where when you have, I mean, the Chiron is also connected um, with depleted self-esteem, and it can be an issue where if you have any situation going on in your life, the sun is about life, and the fact that the natal Chiron is about depleted self-esteem could indicate that there is a chance it's easier to work out the issues with that might be depleted self-esteem. Maybe more of a chance now, more of an opportunity to actually do something about it, to take the action, and also have the drive and motivation to do something about it. If you have, going back to Taurus, if the natal Chiron is in Taurus and or the second house in your chart, maybe some issues that are monetary, or again with lack of persistence, or there's something financially where maybe you don't have stability monetarily, and it might be causing some very strong lack of self-esteem. And this is a time where you can maybe do something about it, which as far as taking action on this at this point in time. And another thing too, Chiron is connected with suffering, the deepest pain. This could be where, again, if you're talking, could be, physical or emotional suffering. If you have, say, if you have the natal Chiron and Scorpio in the seventh house in your chart, it could be dealing with something, a person that's very, could be emotionally manipulative, making you feel like, everything's your fault. A person that's a significant other, a marriage partner even, and it could be a time where you could put more focus and attention on this and actually do something to take care of the situation at this time. Again, the transit is only about 5 days if you're using a 3-degree applying aspect, and also the 2-degree separation. But the thing is, you're also at this time as well. Again, this is the Chiron is connected with the deepest pain that one may that one may endure. And the thing about it is, I mean, if you have your natal Chiron in Pisces, you might be dealing with some kind of deception and duplicity or betrayal. If the natal Chiron is in Pisces in the 11th house, it could be such with a friend or an acquaintance or some kind of group, club, or organization. And for whatever reason, it might be something that's caused you, some pain over the years, some kind of emotional suffering that you've had to, deal with for a very prolonged time. And this could be the time where you could put more focus and attention on it, more so than usual. Now, the next thing, for another way that this transit may manifest, the sun is connected with the biological father and children. So at this time, it could be a time where the biological father and children, which is the sun, could favor helping and healing others, which is Chiron. Now, let's say it could be a time where they're in favor of the way you help and heal others. Let's say, for example, if your natal Chiron is in Gemini in the 4th house, maybe you're dealing with Mercurial, which is Gemini, home situation, which is the 4th, and this could be a time where you might have difficulties in that area, but you're helping somebody else out that's very peripatetic, that might be bouncing from one residence to another and trying to help them find some stability in their home life. And so another thing too, now another way this transit may manifest, it could be a time where you have the right amount of energy, which is the sun. Could be for dealing with ineptitude or some weakness you feel you have in your life, which is Chiron. Again, going back to my example, like in my natal chart, let's say if Chiron is in Aries in the 12th house as an example, it could be simply confronting, which is Aries, hidden adversaries, which is connected with the 12th house. Hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that, I'm back. But anyway, now this transit can also be auspicious for taking action, which is the sun, perhaps to repair depleted self-esteem, which is Chiron. Let's say, for example, if the natal Chiron is in Libra in the first house, it could be maybe you feel there's some lack of physical attractiveness. The first house of the physical body, Libra, is connected with attractiveness and beauty. Um, and the thing is, it could also be a time for you during this transit where you may easily focus, which is the sun, on finding. Chiron is the key. It's a symbol is the key, and it could be that key to heal your own suffering. Um, if, say, for example, if the natal Chiron is in Cancer in the 11th house as an example, maybe it's trying to maybe perhaps by nurturing your own friends, maybe somehow you're able to get that energy back to you, basically, that others may reciprocate, and you may be dealing and maybe you'll have the same, you'll have friendships expressing more sympathy toward you, as an example. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.